Friends, we are back. World Cup season 2025. My first World Cup report because I didn't have a lot of time in the last few weeks. And I also don't have time to do the mail report because I have to do a lot of work over the next few days. Maybe I'll find some time. But I did the women's report of Salt Lake. And unfortunately, it wasn't my favorite round. It was not like the boulders didn't inspire a lot in me, in my heart. They didn't look great, and the styles were also not my favorite. And then something happened in boulder number 3 and boulder number 4. But that's the game they play. Privileged pressure. That's what I call comp climbing and comp setting. Because for comp setters, if they fuck up, nothing really happens. Because no one knows if it would have happened another way, if they wouldn't have tweaked this or that. Anyway, we have someone new with gold. Spoiler alert. Go watch it and let me know what you think about this. Niki out. Bye!
Okay, let's hit it. Miho Nonaka, Orion Berton, Oceana Mackenzie, Futaba Ito, Nile Mignon. If I pronounced this correctly, sorry, I don't know that. Annie Sanders, Mao Nakamura, and Celia Avezou. A lot of them won a World Cup already. Mao Nakamura seemed to be in good shape, placing 4th in the previous 2 Boulder World Cups, and we started with boulder number 1. Boulder number 1 started with a little lâché into stemming chimney corner, then a traverse to the right, so a slabby outro, and we will start with a comparison between Miho Nonaka on the left and Orion Berton on the right. While Miho is still shaking, taking a look before she started her first attempt, Orion is already in. Both Boulder World Cup winners before, and Orion is already in the corner. Miho stemming in between, so that's a pretty cool move for a lâché. Otherwise, I'm not a biggest fan of lâchés anymore, but it's not about me. It's about them. Either you could campus down and then kind of like turn around like Orion there, or you stayed on top like Miho and traversed on top over the spear-shaped volume, hit the zone. And as far as I know, no one fell after getting the zone or the 10 points nowadays. I will continue calling it zone because I don't care. Yes, a little bit like wrestling. Either you can keep the hook on the left, match and then release, or like Orion did it, wrestling, fighting to the top. There was a jib on the dual text volume, a little bit pushy. In the middle between the 2 walls, I think there must have been a gap in between the 2 walls. Otherwise, why would you put black tape there? Anyway, if you're a little bit taller like Osh on the right side, it seemed to be a little bit more, awful, uncomfortable. Anyway, she found a way. Futaba also had some problems. Well, take a look at Oceana on the right side. She stepped higher and higher with her feet until she was able to turn around and fit into the corner. Problem was, she faced the crowd, which is funny. Probably for everyone else. I don't know how she fared. As mentioned before, if you got the 10 points of the zone, you were topping it. Just getting to the zone proved difficult for Futaba and Osh, who didn't top boulder number 1. Not really spectacular in my opinion, but a good lâché into the slab part. Boulder number 2 on the other hand was a slab again. Well, this time it was slabby all the way. This could have been a false start on Mio's side, but doesn't really matter. I'm not a judge here. She started again a little bit later than Orion and seemed to be a little bit quicker, pushing, standing up first, then transferring weight to the left. Apparently couldn't crimp the wall panels, which Orion did. Here you can see the foothold in a close-up, then again shifting weight to the left without hands, getting the 10, the zone. Miho popped up there beforehand, then a delicate cruxy move to the left, falling to the left into the stable shoulder, and Gaston, another small foothold, and then just one more time standing up to the top. We can just compare the last position between Orion and Miho. While Miho leaned far to the right, Orion was stepping into this hold, and they both climbed boulder number 2. The most difficult move was after you got the zone, so there was a separation this time after the zone. falling over to the left. Osh, as mentioned before, she's the tallest competitor, so maybe it was a little bit uncomfortable for her, but thankfully she fell once, so we can compare her send go on the right side and her fail on the left side. Come on, do it, Osh. Bam. This is the moment before she falls. So we can see on the left side, Osh's hip is a little bit further to the left. Her elbow is already slightly bent, and due to her bent elbow, she doesn't have a straight and a stable position for her upper body to catch the momentum on the right side. Her elbow is straight, her hip was a little bit further to the right, and she was able to tick and send boulder number 2. As mentioned before, Mao Nakamura seemed to be in good shape. I just found out that the start hold is also the pink one, so Miho started correctly. Anyway, Mao is quite quick. That's why I wanted to compare her with her teammate Futaba Ito on the right side. We don't have the start of Futaba, otherwise we could have done a time comparison. But Futaba as well on the right side, you can see it again, she didn't arrive in a stable position. Mao with her left arm straight into the stable position here. Futaba a little bit too much momentum and onto the mats. Flawless send by Mao Nakamura here in her second boulder, second flash. Boulder number 3, finally a powerful one. I gotta say, the visual aspects of the final boulders did not convince me. Yes, this boulder for sure didn't look like the most appealing, and it had 2 sections which we can talk about. First one is at the lower part. First you lean into a good side pull crimp. You can see that it's slightly in-cut. And then I think this was the intended beta. You had to catch a toe catch, go into the other Gaston, then lift your right foot onto this little pebble where Miho is standing with her right foot. Then sit on your left foot and catch the block crimp without letting go, Miho. But you can see Futaba Ito here. She stepped immediately onto this little pebble, and first I thought, maybe you need the volume to do this. Later on we will see that you didn't need the volume at all, so there was an obvious, or kind of like beta break. Was it obvious? A few of them tried it, but the crux move was for sure hitting the left block crimp after you hit the 10 points. Okay, Osh was the first one with a little pogo with her left foot to hit the crimp, but now it seemed really powerful, a little bit struggling. I don't know how overhanging it is. I kind of like the position. I don't like how it looks like. Osh sent this again and was struggling just to get the top hold. You can see now camera switches, slips off with her left foot, doesn't find a stable position to hold the top move, and now Mao Nakamura with 2 flashes so far. I think that's her 3rd attempt. Didn't bother with the torque volume, moved onto the 10 points again, the zone, and then jumped out to the left. Maybe she fit a little bit better in there, crimping really hard on the left one, sitting and swapping feet again, looking for a better position to swap feet. Cutting loose, okay, easy. Moved a little bit higher, and the first and only top on the 25. Does it make sense to call it 10 again and 25? Because on the 3rd attempt it's not a 10er anymore. Doesn't matter. We try to compare Osh and Mao. The problem is that we don't have the same camera angle, so I can only guess. Let's guess. We know for sure that Osh slipped before she moved to the last hold, so I'm pretty sure slipping off didn't help her a lot to gain the momentum and the height to get the last hold. Mao, on the other hand, she left the left foothold once she had the top hold. We cannot see whether she catches it at the top with her left foot still on, but we can compare a little bit their right knee and their right foot. While Osh is a little bit taller and her knee is facing perpendicular inside to the wall, maybe this turns her hip out, while Mao on the left side, her knee is parallel to the wall and in an almost 90-degree angle. Well, the camera angle doesn't allow us, but Mao with the only top, already tears of joy, because I think she knew that she was able to achieve something very big before we went into boulder number 4, the big lâcher no one cares about, because this is what we should take a look at. There was a last minute or maybe last hour tweak. The Routesetters changed this circled volume, which is a full textured volume, with a dual text volume. And there was also another tweak, which I think I can make it visible once we see the boulder. So this is the boulder. Futaba shows us the little swingling, bum bum, into the 2 pinches, heel hook, then cross over. Everyone was able to get to the 10 points sooner or later. I think everyone flashed it to the 10 points, doesn't matter. And now we take a look at the volume. This is the new volume, the dual text volume, so no grip on the top side. And now it made it a little bit more difficult to get to this yellow side pull. Futaba was not able to do it, Miho neither. Didn't matter, because he was still able to do it, like we can see here. And now we can just talk about the next move, but just in theory, because spoiler ahead, no one sent it. Whether any senders on the other hand found a way to stuck her foot in there, so I think it's not about the foot. The foot made it for sure more difficult, but now let's take a look at the holds, because something changed. The preview, the scan is taken after Tuesday night, once the Routesetters are done with putting up the finals and marking them, but they can do last minute tweaks and turns in after the semi-final and after they've seen the finalists. First I thought the camera angle on the left side is a little bit more sideways, and maybe they didn't rotate the big blue 360 one, but then I tried to compare the logo angle, and I was still like, maybe the camera angle, but then, as a nerdy Routesetter who I am, I looked at the attachment points, the circled points, and you can clearly see that the left attachment point, or on the left side, the screw hole is a little bit lower, so they tilted it clockwise, which made the hold a little bit steeper, and the whole surface just more slopey. While on the right hand side, and the green circle, you can see that the screw is it 10 centimeters, 8 centimeters, a little bit higher. It's on top of the black volume, while on the left side, the screw is just barely above the black volume. So they tilted and turned the blue 360 ball, made the hold a little bit worse. Again, 2 tweaks at the same time. We don't know what made it, how much more difficult, how much harder, but no one stuck the move. Maru Nakamura couldn't climb it neither. With 25 seconds left, she tried one more time really, really hard. Got the zone, so she got her points. 84.7, and she came down off the mat and immediately started cheering, celebrating, everyone together, the whole Japanese team. I think they knew that she won gold, even though I'm a little bit confused. Zelia Iwazu was still to come as the last starter out, and she needed 14.7 points, which she could have gotten in this attempt, right, if she added 15 more points. But maybe I'm a little bit confused with the zones, and or the other women were so safe and so confident that no one will stick and send this boulder. Maybe someone can help me here, because otherwise it doesn't make sense to put this into the graphics. Anyway, congratulations to Maru Nakamura to her first Boulder World Cup win, and Zelia Iwazu for her second place. But let's take a look at the results. I really enjoy that Maru Nakamura at least shows some emotions, not herself, but the whole team. And we need more emotions in climbing. Let's put it this way. A lot of people don't seem to enjoy comp climbing. A lot of pressure. Anyhow, let's take a look at the results. I can just say the result made Jake emotional. Looking at second, third, and fourth place with 70 points, all of them in the same amount, that is not a good result. Of course, it can happen. It's not science, but looking at this, it's not a good result because we're going back to semifinals. Yeah, well, that's the game. I didn't enjoy the finals that much because first boulder, the traverse to the right, was a kind of boulder. I like the swingling into the bridge STEMI section. Second boulder was okay, but also just one difficult move. And on the other hand, I think you can present slabs a little bit nicer, but maybe they didn't have the best materials. This could also be. Third boulder looked poor, like just didn't look nice. The section that could skip the toe is unfortunately something which shouldn't happen that far down in a World Cup final, I think. So yeah, it was my favorite World Cup. So we will see whether we will do another report. I think Brazil was better, but I don't have that much time to do a recap of Brazil because I have to work a lot in the next few weeks. So I hope you enjoyed this report, and if so, see you again soon.